Back, ladies and gentlemen. A lot has passed. Phantomz, thank God he spawned in because I was about to literally lose it if this match didn't start. But of course, we're hopping in here toward our next match. Of course, it is the current semifinal between GetBusy and Supreme. Of course, myself, Leno, here live from the UMG studio, joined alongside by Jen, aka Lemon Kiwi. And Jen, like I said, it has been a while, but we're still here. We're hopping in toward London Docks yet again, and I'm excited. How about you?
Super excited. Two players already down here for Supreme. Ooh. They are able to get the bomb down, but that's Glory. Glorio's like better Oreos? I'm not sure, but it's only OPTIMUM left here for the side of Supreme. He needs to prevent this bomb fuse, or at least prevent himself from dying, but nonetheless, it's going to be a quick round win here for GetBusy here on defense.
Indeed it will, of course. GetBusy, ProFeezy, Glory, and Nihill, I believe, are 3/4 of the current Hype unit roster, who I believe finished, I want to say, top 64 at Dallas. Of course, trying to improve any way they can in playing in search and destroy tournaments like this. It's where they can definitely do that. I've heard of OPTIMUM, I've heard of CredMe, and maybe Lokie. So curious to see what these guys can do, especially when it comes down to the S&D game. And it definitely could be their best bet. But up close and personal, yet again, more fights happening inside of A, but it's Glory who's able to challenge the fight, and thankfully he does have the bomb in hand, so he can get this one down at any moment. And closest player toward the day side is Drazah. And he's going to be in no way to stop that plant from happening. Bomb goes down, and he looks over at his teammate Lokie, does Drazah, and now has to try and engage on this one in any way they can. And Phantomz in the back lines watching the flank that could be happening at any moment. However, the flank is not taking place whatsoever. Lokie ends up running in with no cover fire whatsoever. Drazah drops just after that, and the final player for Supreme falls to the hands of Nihill as 3 go down quick. As this is just not a very well outplayed round there from Supreme. No really support toward this A site. They kind of rely on one player to kind of win things overall. And a 1 versus 2 instead of 10 does not go their way. And a second round gets chalked up on the board for GetBusy there, Jen.
Yeah, Supreme's going to have to keep better eyes here on the water side of the map. GetBusy have been pushing both sides and winning all the engagements that they need, not only on defense but on offense as well. As all they had to do was really plant the bomb and sit pretty and wait for Supreme to come, as now it's Supreme's chance to get the bomb down. But look at ProFeezy here, pushing up, has 3 players right around the corner. That's Cred. Just skipping on by, but gets shot down as Drazah now and friends having their eyes set here on B, but that's Phantom Lords on the other side of Crate here, making sure it's not going to be an easy task for them. As the rest here of GetBusy watching over from the mid-statue side. And that's Glorio's getting a nice shot there on the Lokie with the sniper. Glorio's now the last one versus 2 members here of Supreme who are still looking to get the bomb down, possibly rotating all the way into the base here.
And I was going to say, this kind of 2v4 clutch, based on their positioning, was one that definitely could go their way. Thankfully, Glory is able to pick up an FG42 after getting a snipe and also earning streaks. So, of course, 4-0 off of a plant. And now with that, here comes the glide bomb. Honestly, don't discredit him for using it in this situation, but doesn't earn the information. I believe both players are rocking mountain, so not able to spot them. So we'll see how he does try to engage. It would be a 2 versus 4 clutch and a 1 versus 2 here in the latter parts of this round. And honestly, using streaks, you want to try to get something from it. And does not spot Drazah there in that right corner. Does he go for the defuse or does he try to engage? Fortunately, he does try to go for the engage. Probably in either position there, Jen. Probably would have died if he hops in the defuse just because Drazah was constantly checking it. But still, streaks, they get used. However, though, Glory does have 2 other ones to rock when it comes into future rounds. And one that definitely needed to go on board here from the guys for Supreme.
Now, this was a pretty good setup here out of Supreme to not only get the bomb down 2 versus 1, having 1 set up on streets and 1 set up in cabin. So either engagement, they're going to collapse onto them. So now only 1 round separates these 2 teams. GetBusy now back onto the offense. They're going to give that one to ProFeezy and send 1 player towards the mid side of the map. So once again, this is going to be a heavy engagement over at water. Smokes are going to sort of cut off the ways onto the street side, as ProFeezy now knows there's a player here inside of cabin. That's CredMe around the corner. It's an important engagement that ProFeezy has to win. They have 1 or 2 players down now. This is now 2 versus 1 over on the water side. ProFeezy, the last one left, finally gets cut down here as Supreme even things up after 2 consecutive rounds.
And I like that round there from Supreme. Of course, we see in their prior defensive round the fact that they kind of lose a lot of support when it comes down to this 10 bomb site, being the fact that they only send one player out of the total 4 toward this particular bomb. They end up losing that player, the bomb goes down, and then they kind of lose that round toward the future parts of it. But in this round, they send 2 toward 10, 2 through middle. The players through mid get their kills if they need to. The guys in 10 are at least able to kind of hold on for as long as they can. Once the kills go down in mid, an easy pinch gets made, and just overall, a very solid kind of recap comes in for the boys on Supreme when it comes down to defense. But now, how can they do when it comes down to this offensive one? Lokie, the bomb in hand, making their way toward B and having a quick wrap back around. It looks like it is going to be player number 8, being Phantomz, checking over toward that A site, but not getting any information as the time will progress. And little by little, is earning some positioning, of course, receiving the early shots. ProFeezy is able to drop one, a big kill coming from that closet, finds the second one on top of it. Challenging one-on-one, Drazah, can he meet his fate here as well? It looks like it will be OPTIMUM who picks off Glory, but a 2 versus 3, and question being, do they still try to take on this side, or they try to maybe make a wrap back around toward A? As 2 kills come in for Drazah, getting met, just as we see the side of ProFeezy get one done. Drazah says, I can do the exact same, as it will be Phantomz. Now left in a 1 versus 2 on top of the box. Will drop one, but yet again another response there coming in from Supreme, and 2 big kills that come in from them as well, as they're able to close out this round here, Jen.
Supreme started out with the advantage by catching GetBusy off guard, going to the site, only having ProFeezy to protect it. ProFeezy opens up with a double kill, which put GetBusy into the advantage, but then it was Drazah answering with the 2 kills of his own, evening up the numbers, and then the snowball coming in for Supreme to finish off that round and putting them in the advantage. 3 consecutive rounds after they start 0-2 in this S&D. As we'll take a look here at Glorios. Once again, they saw success over at the B site. We'll see if they can do it again, as OPTIMUM's laying behind the truck, loses that gunfight here to ProFeezy, and we got GetBusy in a very good position to get B-bomb site down, and Nihill keeping an eye here on Statue, even gets a kill on the Drazah. This should be a round win here for GetBusy to even things up.
Yeah, an immediate 4 versus 2. Of course, Glory still has streaks to work with. Kind of not really surprised to see him putting the bomb down, but you most likely prefer to see maybe guys who aren't as close to streaks in that particular position maybe get the bomb down just to earn points. But still, at least for the defensive setups that we're seeing from for the set of Supreme, I obviously kind of discredited them when it came down to their first. Why? Because they kind of send one player toward a particular bomb site, then they kind of get flack for it. But when it comes into their second defensive round, they start to kind of even out the numbers, and it works well. Well, now that their third defensive round, they send one player toward one bomb site and send 3 or 2 toward middle and 1 toward A. And just overall, it seems that their defensive setups are just kind of getting ruined. It just overall, the guys on GetBusy are just choosing the right bomb site, and it's just difficult for them to kind of play the numbers when they're already down. And you like to prefer that the gun skill would most likely be on the side of GetBusy, just because of their prior history when it comes down to playing in high-level tournaments and whatnot. So just overall, they're kind of either getting unlucky or just not playing the setups well, because 2 of the 3 times on defense, they're just kind of getting picked off because they only have 1 player to match the other team's 3 or 4.
An important gunfight here of Glorios versus Lokie that was over on the street phase. And also, Supreme have 2 players here pushed up into the cabin side. But take a look at this position here from Phantomz. He's waiting for the bomb to get planted. But now Supreme, this is their chance. They have now the numbers advantage, getting that kill onto ProFeezy. But they don't know where this Phantomz guy is. He's waiting here for the bomb, and he spots one. Is he going to wait for the second one to go down? He's burning all this time, gets the kill, waiting for the second one to engage, gets the double kill. Nice positioning and objective kills.
But OPTIMUM finds
Phantomz.
2. But OPTIMUM literally finds 2 at the exact same moment, so while Phantomz plays definitely one to highlight, he's got a few more players in front of him, drops the 3rd, but I believe in the end, it's OPTIMUM who will get the better of the hat tricks. Literally, I believe it was that 6 kills from 2 players in this round, and OPTIMUM will come in on top. Granted, a fantastic play comes in from Phantomz. I think we talked about it, the trigger discipline to not immediately kill the bomb planter, and then finds a second on that bomb head glitch. But either way, the numbers work out the best for OPTIMUM, and he wins it thanks to a nice kind of team fight, one that kind of gets traded out, and now we see the boys on Supreme back in the lead.
One round separates it. It's not over yet. GetBusy looking to plan over at the B-bomb side again, but look how pushed up here Lokie is. He's over on the statue side taking a look at this push and could get shots onto Glorios at any moment. OPTIMUM also waiting for the push from ProFeezy on this top building avenue. But it's Phantomz that gets the line of sights here onto Lokie, opens up the statue area. OPTIMUM now has some information of where these players could be. We have our fighter pilot onto the side here of GetBusy, who's able to cut down at least a couple members here. 3 versus 2, still in the favor of the offensive team, but they have not moved an inch. Looking to close in here on the B-bomb site.
Indeed, as Glory does fire a few bullets into the side of Drazah. Awkward position to be in. He's currently sitting inside of mid-street and will get picked off. So after 8 rounds of play, we're level at 4, but I think it was at the beginning of the round. I want to say it was Lokie. He was kind of lingering through that mid-cut and didn't spot the feet of ProFeezy. Not saying that that was a position where he absolutely should. Of course, to the Concaster vision that we have, it's a lot easier for us to kind of pick things off. But I'm not sure if he kind of saw that play or if he just realized the shot really wasn't in his best intentions to try and take with the PPSH. But regardless, little things like that can kind of definitely rule out how the games will go. But now we're back on offense. We're seeing Supreme yet again rush over toward this A site. It will be Phantomz holding the bomb head glitch and holding it well. So find 2 off the break. The third gets fined just before that as OPTIMUM immediately left in a 1 versus 4. I believe it's Nihill to pick him off on the boxes. As if that's a round that you want to get to kind of get some momentum back in this series, that is a major one to grab, as they are now on map point here for London Docks.
And GetBusy after 2 consecutive rounds send Phantomz over into that cabin side, and that's the second round he's able to win for his team, opening up with a double kill. And for some reason, Supreme aren't being a little bit more aware that Phantomz gets there first and is able to get first blood every single time that he does. Now they're throwing up some smokes, trying to cut off the streets phase heading into the A site. However, Supreme have sent no members over at the A site. This is a free bomb plant.
And this is what I've been talking about the entire game, is just the fact that Supreme is either just not playing their cards right or there's the strategy not there, but they totally predict a B-bomb site push. And what do we see? Literally, no one get forced toward A. They literally all go toward the exact same site. So while this is coming into play, at least they can send Drazah on the flank. So while this is looking kind of grim, at least you're going to have 2 players here to maybe try and get 1 player picked off. They aren't able to pick off Glory. That's a big kill that they are at least able to find. And Nihill is left in a 1 versus 2. We'll see what he can try to get done. Player just toward his right spots him. And yes, this will be a round toward the opposite end, a round 11 force. But regardless, you have to take into consideration, while they do get a flank out of it and it does work in their favor, literally all 4 players sent to the incorrect bomb site, and one that, don't want to say it shouldn't have gone their way, because of course they're able to force the round 11, but one that definitely looked grim and one that they probably shouldn't have won does go their way here to force overtime. And now it will be the boys on Supreme on offense. So at least they don't have to worry about their defensive issues of sending players to the right bomb site. Now it's their turn to kind of choose which one they'd like to go to. And it looks like Drazah actually pulling out the sniper rifle, most likely trying to find Nihill, who would be there on that bomb head glitch, but does not spot anyone off and doesn't switch weapons either. So going to see a pretty methodical, kind of slowed down round. As you have to be keeping in mind here, Phantomz, as the streaks will come in. Glory has been waiting with that mortar strike since, I believe, round 2. Calls in at the perfect time possible and is able to find that first blood. Also, picking off the person who had the bomb in hand.
Well, not only that, but Glorios had information where everybody on Supreme was, knowing that this A side was where they wanted to. And even as extra insurance, had Phantomz sitting in the corner waiting for the push to come in. Now Drazah is the last one left versus 3 members. And it's not looking pretty here. Round 11, they get caught by kill streaks. They get caught off guard. No smokes to help them towards the street phase. And just like that, Phantomz, again, catching people off guard, heading towards cabin. And that secures GetBusy this map win here on London Docks.
Yeah, of course, a very close map number 1 here between these 2 squads. Of course, it is GetBusy who does win this one in overtime, but I think one thing that we were kind of highlighting a lot through that map, Jen, was just the fact on defense for the Supreme lineup, they were constantly choosing the wrong bomb site. I mean, at times it obviously worked for them. We saw some adjustments being made throughout the map, but in turn, it was really just a major problem for them to kind of get on the board, kind of be able to have a full-on 4 versus 4 when it was constantly on their defensive sides. What was it? A kind of like a 1 versus 3, a 1 versus 4, a 2 versus 4. I mean, just a lot of, gun engagements that weren't meant to go their way. And, granted, I do respect the ability to kind of just have that confidence to send forward toward a particular bomb site and hoping that it works out. Of course, those are going to happen in games, but just when it already hasn't gone your way, it's just a lot of kind of slower plays that easily, I mean, I think, honestly, if we don't see a lot of those issues come through, they probably should have won this map #1 just because of the fact that we were seeing some good moments from GetBusy, but Supreme, a lot of the time, they were making a lot of momentum runs. They were winning 2 rounds in a row, 3 rounds in a row at times, so regardless, this one does see overtime, and I'm very curious to see how USS Texas obviously plays out, because we obviously saw quite a few snipers come out in London docks, and if we know anything about snipers, that is where the snipers obviously like to roam are on USS Texas. So welcome back, everyone, of course, to the $300 minimum 4v4 Search and Destroy, of course, live here from the UMG studio with myself, Lando, here, joined by the ever fantastic, a.k.a. Jen Lemon Kiwi. Jen, we're happy
Jen from home.
Jen from home, a.k.a., of course, Jen. We're happy toward map #2, USS Texas, between GetBusy and Supreme. We saw OT on London docks, but we'll see if the boys on Supreme can try to get a rally back here to force them map #3.
Bomb already down here for GetBusy. This is going to be a quick early round. Drazah trying to chase down these players. Able to get the 1 kill. Glorio should be there for the trade. But actually, no. Drazah gets away with his life. Before I say that, it goes down. 1 last player left, and that's OPTIMUM here for Supreme. The bomb is still down here for GetBusy. Not looking like he'll be able to get much done at this rate.
Oh, and does, unfortunately, fire some shots. Glory able to expect where he is. And Glory does challenge that. Kind of a interesting challenge to make, especially being in a 2 versus 1. Tries to go for the shots through the wall, but regardless, finishes off OPTIMUM in the end. As a very quick round here made toward this particular site. Is very curious to see if things do kind of slow down. We start to see more methodical plays with those sniper rifles. I believe it's been ProFeezy who's rocked the sniper for this, or has been rocking it in the past. But it looks like Glory, though, going to be rocking this one heading into this next round. Of course, this is the guy who earned streaks within 2 rounds inside of London docks. And we'll see if he can kind of continue on his spree here, looking toward this B site. Not spawning anything off the break, but it will be Drazah for the opposite end. Pulling that bomb out. Nihill does get picked off at the same time. CredMe and Drazah both fall. 2 versus 3 engagement right now, as it will be now Lokie left all by himself. Does get the sniper shot through onto Phantomz. I'm not sure if that was just overall knowledge or just a fantastic shot that he happens to randomly get, but Lokie has found 1, needs 2 more. Unfortunately for him, though, bomb is not in his hands. His teammate ended up dropping with that one a few feet in front of him, but now has ProFeezy and Glory left to go through. Guys who are combined 5-1 after about a round and a half of play.
Yeah, only 36 seconds remain for him to either get the bomb and get it planted or get these 2 next kills coming up. And as you can see on your mini-map, they're very far apart from each other, but Lokie in a good position to come up from behind. As long as ProFeezy and Glorio is not going to hear him coming. But he has, now Lokie has picked up an AR, so in more of a favorable position than just having a sniper in close range. But as I say that, it gets sniped from across the map. That's 2 consecutive rounds here for GetBusy on offense and defense, as GetBusy will be back on the offense, where they have that record-breaking bomb plan, as we have Glorio's here on your round ending, or I guess your bronze medal star thing.
And I'm curious as well, we see Glory get the snipe. Does he earn streaks? I'm actually going to go to Glory's point of view. No, only 125 points off streaks. Like I said, in London docks, that was such a massive kind of momentum that they got in that round 11, Jen, because we talked about how this guy had earned streaks after, what, 2 or 3 rounds of play on London docks. So if we can kind of do similar things into map 2, I mean, he could definitely be the momentum swing, kind of be the overall major player to be looking out for, as they don't give him bomb. Not surprising to see, especially with him being the sniper player. It's going to watch over that bomb being planted, but 2 players dropping. Nihill finding 1. Glory picks off 1 onto Lokie, and just like that, the streaks, if not earned, getting very close to those. There's just 1 player sitting between a 3rd round, and Glory is hungry, but it looks like he'll get picked off from behind in the end, as it will be 3 rounds straight, and only 25 more points needed for Glory to get those streaks underway, as things are not looking good right now for Supreme.
I'm not sure if you were watching him, but Glorio's got that snipe through smoke, which I wasn't sure whose smokes were coming out of where, but that was really inhibiting Glorio's from getting any sightlines onto the bomb. Maybe helping his bomb planter get into a good position, but he was still able to just randomly shoot through the smoke and get somebody. So I don't know if he's got hacks on. I'm not blaming anybody, but again, opening up this round with a kill here onto Lokie.
Drazah don't even think about it. Do not even engage on
Oh, Drazah has the bomb and does not want to go down in a bad position heading towards the A-bomb site. Cred needs to be by his side for this, as the rest here of GetBusy need to prevent this one from going down, but Drazah's in a good position here. Let's see if he'll go for it.
Drazah and Cred holding hands. Cred now holding no one's as he's got a 1 versus 3 under his belt. And this is going to be pretty awkward. I'm going to go on board with Glory just because he's been the hot sniper here off the break.
Oh, you cursed it.
I did. Unfortunately, I did. But CredMe at least has a chance to win this round. 1 versus 2. ProFeezy with the height advantage. Unfortunately, though, 35 seconds do remain. And, of course, that bomb not in his hand, sitting right in the middle of that A site and clear sight as well. As most likely waving the white flag right now. But if he can maybe find a pick onto one, as he does find ProFeezy here toward his right. Can't finish off the kill, however. Will get dropped off in the end. So 4 rounds in a row here, Jen. 2 streaks on board for Glory. As things are looking grim for the boys on Supreme.
Very grim. How do you go down 4 rounds? Like, what is your strategy going to this one? Do you keep pushing A? You've seen them try to go to B. You've seen them pull out the sniper on their own here, having Lokie. But dealing with the sniper god of Glorios on the other side makes maybe forcing Lokie to pick another weapon here, do something, play a little bit different. But that's ProFeezy here on the side of GetBusy that will have the bomb in hand. And we see these friends grouping up, having a party over at the A-bomb site where Drazah will be there to meet him. Smokes going on. Getting some sightlines onto the doorway. Knows they want this push coming in.
Streaks.
Oh, here comes the streaks. He's able to get out of it. Oh, somehow
Drazah.
didn't. What?
Somehow finds that. And, oh my gosh, Lokie unfortunately doesn't get the shot through the wall, but unfortunately gets another hit marker. That went on to Glory. He's able to finish him off in the end. One more player in front of him. Lokie starting to heat up, but unfortunately 2 players are still alive. Doesn't spot Nihill toward his right, but Phantomz is going to have the knowledge that Nihill gives him. Can Lokie clutch this one up and finally get a round on the board here for Supreme? Player just behind him. I don't think he's going to check this corner. And nearly get the snipe. Tried it. It would have been amazing had that one gone through. An impressive round there for Lokie, but unfortunately for him, doesn't have any teammate support. And Nihill's career will live to see another day, as that would have been an amazing World Star had Supreme closed that one out.
GetBusy, you know, took this in round 11 onto London Docks. Now they're going to switch things up and take the 6-0, it looks like, as 1 round now separates GetBusy to moving on to the bracket or Supreme to stay alive. As we'll see Axis or Supreme here on the red side, or whatever color we have, as OPTIMUM will have the bomb in hand. And now they really are nervous and desperate to get a round win, staying now into the base rather than pushing a bomb site as ProFeezy just around the corner. He probably gets sightlines onto OPTIMUM as Glorios gets his snipe here onto Drazah. Looking good here for GetBusy again.
Doing some damage right now is OPTIMUM. CredMe finding one there onto ProFeezy. As it looks like Phantomz in the back lines. Trying to do some work here on the site, but it looks like players will get picked off. And just like that, a hot 6-0 here for map number 2, as we'll see Nihill picking off CredMe in the base. As the machine pistol will do the work necessary, as what seemed like it should have been a very close series. We were kind of coming into this one off in overtime for map 1, Jen, saying, okay, what can the guys on Supreme do here now? Their sniper rifles are we're going to see obviously coming out. That sub pressure when it comes down to inside ship. How will this one play out? And well, we see, like I said, overtime in game 1, and totally opposite play here in map number 2. A hot 6-0 on USS Texas, with Glory finishing off 9-2. Some amazing sniper plays that have definitely kind of changed the tide of this game, earning streaks. Back-to-back games, I believe, in streaks. On London Docks, he found within 2 rounds. I believe on USS Texas within 3 or 4. And all with the sniper rifle. This guy was just an absolute, you know, kind of issue to be worrying about for the side on Supreme. But like I said, we do congratulate the guys on GetBusy for moving forward, as they're now in our finals here for tonight's tournament. And definitely a team to be watching out for, Jen, as this group has kind of paved the way up to the finals, playing incredibly strong.
And I think, like you highlighted before this map started, USS Texas is where the snipers shine, and we've seen how much Glorio can carry his team. And I don't even know what his final stats were at the end, but it just really made Supreme nervous to move around the map, especially when both bomb sites are in line of a sniper shot. There's not as much cover to get objective work done, and even when they were pushing inside the ship, not always having the numbers in their favor, they weren't able to pick up a single round. But they, on London Docks, when there's a little bit less sniper play, they brought it to 6-5. They brought it to round 11. So maybe Supreme need a better map choice. I don't know, USS Texas, that was a rough one. Yeah. As I believe GetBusy will move up into our bracket to face the winner of Dashy and Bad in our grand finals.
Indeed, and I think kind of bringing on the topic of sniper rifles, especially when it comes into USS Texas, is an interesting discussion because, of course, in the beginning of World War II, people were talking about, okay, what maps need to be used for competitive, what maps need to be kind of taken out. USS Texas was one that wasn't really a fan, a lot of the competitive fans. But at the same time, now kind of thinking about it, and now obviously having a full-on month of being able to watch, spectate, commentate as well when it comes down to World War II competitive matches, I think it's a very interesting factor that we see with with maps like USS Texas that are kind of sniper heavy, because I think it's really important to kind of highlight different strategies or different kind of highlight moments from certain players, because of course we talk about maps that are good for ARs, we talk about maps that are good for subs, but I think honestly USS Texas is a fantastic map for search and destroy. Honestly, kind of based off the fact that now we have a map that's dedicated to who can do work with sniper rifles. So it kind of highlights a lot of different players' game. It kind of makes overall teams in Search and Destroy have to be good at every aspect of it. So I think, like I said, in the beginning of the title, people weren't a fan of this map. I think toward the end of this map's life cycle, if it does continue to stay in the competitive rotation toward the end of World War II, we're honestly going to kind of be looking at the title saying, wow, this is actually a fantastic map that we had, because it definitely was one that highlighted something that we're not used to seeing in the past, which is dedicated sniper rifle play. Granted, people can obviously argue and say, well, at times we've seen even 3 to 4 sniper rifles per round. It's not obviously something that we like to prefer, but at least it's kind of causing that overall aspect of, hey, let's kind of include every single part of Call of Duty World War II. Let's kind of include every single aspect, every single little bit of, gameplay and kind of strategic moves in World War II. So I'm honestly very excited to see USS Texas kind of continue to be in that competitive rotation along with the already maps that we have. I know players can obviously argue, and the competitive Call of Duty fans can argue at the maps. Totally agree with that. But I think when it comes into USS Texas and maps like this in Search and Destroy, it's going to have a different variation to kind of highlight different play styles.
Exactly. I think you summed up everything up pretty well. What we've seen from Bad, we didn't get to see any Dashy DNS, the team Dashy. So what would your predictions be if we had a Bad versus GetBusy grand finals based on what we've seen on stream?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, be very curious to see how that one obviously would play out. Have to obviously look at the maps, but we can't look at that yet. But I think Bad definitely has a very good opportunity to see that. And how is Quavo Steve going to perform, to be honest with you? Of course, we saw him dominate. I think it was in their first map, finished off like 12-5, and I want to say it was a Twerk, or I think someone who was dominating with a sniper rifle back on London Docks. So kind of curious to see how that one obviously play out. I'm definitely kind of favoring, I think, the guys on, I would say I'm favoring a certain team, but like, I don't know. It's going to be a close one. I really think that we're going to see a close match, and it's kind of difficult to predict, right? Because we see both teams play London Docks, one team dominate on it, and one go to round 11. USS Texas was obviously dominated by the other, so it's kind of hard to predict. I think the maps are really going to kind of play out big when it comes down to the series, but I think I'm kind of favoring the guys on, I want to say probably GetBusy a little bit more, just because I'm more familiar with their play. I think they have a stronger overall roles kind of set in stone. But I'm curious to see what the guys on Bad can do. Of course, we've heard of Twerk, we've heard of Holly, we've heard of Steve and Illy in the past. So these guys definitely not ones to kind of by any means count out, but I'm just kind of looking at the guys on GetBusy and saying, hey, we saw what they can do. If Glory continues to shine like he did, I mean, it's going to be a massive battle. I mean, between the highlight players, between both these teams in Glory, and I feel like Quavo Steve. What are your thoughts, Jen?
I'm not sure. Taking a look at the roster here, and I was just sort of reminiscing on those matches with Bad. And this is if I'm sort of making predictions if Bad move on to the grand finals. It could easily be Dashy as well, but we didn't get to see Dashy, so let's talk about Bad, where Quavo Steve was really opening things up with his team. He was always getting first and second blood back on St. Marie du Mont. Really a star player for that squad, and I'm excited to see how maybe if GetBusy face up against them, how they can smash those sniper plays, especially here. Glorio's sniper on USS Texas was unmatched. And ProFeezy as well, and Phantomz and everybody on that team is so well coordinated, and the synergy is really there with GetBusy. So I'm excited to see how this matchup will go into the grand finals once we do get the results here of Dashy versus Bad, which sad to see we don't get to stream it. They're probably sort of mid-series, so we don't want to interrupt anything, but we will let you guys know as soon as grand finals are loaded up.
Absolutely. Of course, should be a very interesting match to watch. Of course, you guys can currently see on your screens the bracket currently going down. Like you said, Dashy's team going up against Bad, who will kind of advance to face off against the guys on GetBusy. Have to kind of keep in mind as far as the series has progressed. We're trying to talk about whether it's Bad or Dashy's team that kind of makes it forward. Regardless, you have to take in consideration the team chemistry that's most likely on the line sides of the guys on GetBusy, who are obviously the other team set in the grand finals waiting on that match to take place, is that we have 3 of the 4 guys who are on the hype unit roster already. 3 of these guys played at, CWL Dallas just, a few weeks ago. So they obviously have that communication. They have that chemistry coming from LAN, now obviously here to online. Have to kind of be taken into consideration when it comes into search and destroy. A lot of communication, a lot of overall play that kind of comes into maps like this. Something to kind of obviously keep in mind as the maps do progress. I believe we just heard that Dashy's team is currently up 1-0. So very curious to see how that map obviously does progress. Feel free to obviously try to tune into